Is it that there is no proper regulation of our banking system? Because how can he be able to move these funds within the financial system and buying all these properties and no suspicious activity report or suspicious transaction report was flagged on him that we go to NFIU? So in this investigation, some of these banks, if these banks are not fined seriously, then central bank is not functional. CBN, you need to upgrade your regulatory system, ensure that banks, for you to onboard any PEP, politically exposed person, you need to conduct serious due diligence on them, perform EDD on them, do proper check on them. Malami, what was he doing before? What was his income before? Who was he before? What does he own before he became minister? He suddenly became minister, own factories, own schools, own hotels everywhere, bought duplexes everywhere, and have different companies linked to him. So you can see it's clear, looting of the treasury, because you can't suddenly become wealthy. B2B call it wealth without enterprise. So what was he doing? Just he became an attorney general and he became a billionaire overnight. Hello, my people. Welcome to my channel. This is Andy Media TV. Compliment of the season and a Merry Christmas. So this is our Christmas edition of Andy Media TV news coverage. So guys, I think the last video I did, highlighting on the EFCC detaining the former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, who has remained in custody of EFCC for about 2 weeks. I know that the EFCC obtained a court warrant to detain him for, I think, 14 days to enable them conduct, intensive investigation in terms of the alleged, fraud, money laundering, terrorism financing, and all that was brought against him. And I think that detention and investigation of the EFCC has yielded a fruitful result. And I'm going to say in this video that kudos to the EFCC on the way they have been digging and digging and digging to be able to get, information on what this former AGF Abubakar Malami has done for his 8 years as the Minister of Justice and the Attorney General of the Federation. So now we're going to look into the current update of what is going on in that issue. The EFCC has finally provided 16-count charge on Abubakar Malami, his son Abudulaziz Malami, and one Bashir Asabe. So they have 3 people on their charge sheet. So Abubakar Malami is the first defendant, while the other 2 is second and third, defendant in these charges. And the charges is bordering around money laundering, concealment of origin of of funds, and also abuse of office. The guy, he really abused his office, and the amount in question is about 212.8 billion naira. That is what this guy took for his 8 years as the Attorney General of the Federation and the Minister of Justice. How did he achieve that? Anyways, before we go into how, if you are new to my channel, kindly like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel and put on the notification bell so that when my next new video drops, you'll be among those that will be notified. So before I delve into the components of things I need to discuss in this video, let's watch this brief summary of the charges so that I don't waste your time reading those charges on this video. Okay, so let's watch this video and we'll be right back to debate on what has transpired. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has filed a 16-count charge bordering on alleged money laundering against former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, senior advocate of Nigeria. His son Abudulaziz Malami, an employee of Ramania Properties Limited, Hajia Bashir Asabe. The charges are filed as part of a 3-series case accused the former AGF and his associates of laundering approximately 9 billion naira to acquire multiple properties across Abuja, Kebbi, Kano, and other states during Malami's tenure in office between 2015 and 2023. According to the court documents, the EFCC alleges that the defendants are required to account for about 30 properties valued at 212.8 billion naira, most of which were allegedly acquired through proceeds of unlawful activities. The Commission disclosed that it may invoke the non-conviction-based asset forfeiture provisions of its Establishment Act to seize some of the assets. The EFCC said interested parties would be given a 14-day window to show cause why the properties should not be permanently forfeited to the federal government. Details of the charge allege that Malami and his son used Metropolitan Auto Tech Limited to conceal the source of funds. One count claims that between July 2022 and June 2025, the defendants procured the company to disguise 1.01 billion naira lodged in a sterling bank account, knowing or reasonably expected to know that the funds were proceeds of unlawful activities. Another count alleges that in March 2021, Malami and his son retained 600 million naira as cash collateral for a 500 million naira loan issued to Ryan Hotels Limited.
Welcome back. So you had all the charges, 16 count charges. So in that video, they were listing all of how it was, moving these monies to different things. Anyways, the issue here is that Abubakar Malami, 41 properties were traced to him as the Attorney General of the Federation. When you look at how this guy was able to, pull 212.8 billion that circulated through different channels and through different properties he used to move this money, you keep wondering, how did we get here? So now, let's come back to Abubakar Malami and dissect what really transpired and why I was so much worried about the financial system of Nigeria. First, how did Abubakar Malami move all this money? You heard from the video how he uses different companies to be able to be moving this money, to conceal his identity, that the money is not tied to his name. So the money will be traced to that company. But he forgot that by the time you go down to find out who are the beneficial owners of that company, you're going to reveal the identities of the owners of those companies. He used even auto company, those selling cars. He used hotels. He was buying different hotels, different duplexes. He laundered this money in schools, hotels. He was buying the ones that are even already built, existing hotels. He buy them. He built new ones. The Asabe Hotel in Kebbi. The Harmonia Hotel in Abuja. And so many other duplexes he bought in Asokoro, in Maitama, in Jabi area, choice areas. So he bought these duplexes, some 400 and something million, 300 and something million, 500 and something million, depending on how potchy, those, buildings looks like. So when you look at how he was able to move this money, I have a series of questions. And this question links to the central bank and other financial institutions in Nigeria. Is it that there is no proper regulation of our banking system? Because how can he be able to move these funds within the financial system and buying all these properties and no suspicious activity report or suspicious transaction report was flagged on him that we go to NFIU, who will be able to link to the law enforcement agencies like the EFCC to look into this case and prosecute this case and do investigation? For 8 years he was in power until now. Honorable Minister, Attorney General have no immunity. So why did they wait till 10 years after he has left office? These are the things that would have been nipped in the bud. So he wouldn't have stolen as much as this. Now it is costing federal government a whole lot of money to conduct this investigation, to unravel all these properties he has procured using, government funds. There's no justification. There's no way Abubakar Malami as Attorney General of the Federation can be able to acquire all these properties worth 212.8 billion. There's no way, looking at his income as a minister of the Federal Republic. There's no way. So which means these monies were taken from the system and the financial institution aided him. So in this investigation, if the heads of banks, like the Sterling Bank, where he kept a huge sum of money over 1 billion, and he was using the same bank to use as collateral, the money that is in that bank, he was using it as collateral to acquire another loan. So some of these banks, if the heads of the MDs does not roll, then CBN is not working. That is the point. If these banks are not fined seriously, then central bank is not functional. Because you can't tell me that in the United States, somebody moved this kind of money and they was caught and they just let the bank go and they prosecute only the client. No, it's not done. The bank, it means that that bank has failed to file suspicious activity report. That is the reason. Because if they have filed it and submitted it as at when due, this flag would have been there that the NFIU will begin investigation, or the day, because they are the government in power at that time, conceal and pretend as if they did not receive the STR or SAR. That is the question I need to find out. Because this whole thing is mind-boggling. That one man, I was even fainting when I heard that former accountant general stole 109 billion. Today, somebody have even stolen double of what the man stole. And I have already told EFCC, this is not the time for play bargain. Provided this asset have been traced to him and there is proof. I know they have listed the names of people that will testify against the Attorney General. Some of them are bank officials, some of them are Bureau de Change, and the rest of them. If they have the proofs of these properties that is linked to Malami and how we procure them, do not do play bargain. Confiscate the asset through the court, do final forfeiture on that asset, and secure it for the government. Those properties, schools, or hotels, and factories that he built, confiscate all of them on behalf of the government. And then, no plea bargain. Charge him to court and let there be expedited hearing. If he doesn't go to prison, another person will do the same thing. If you do plea bargain, 212 billion, he can give you guys 200 billion. The 12 billion, he will hide it. You guys will not see it. He's still very okay. He will enjoy his life. That 12 billion will take care of him and his family till he dies. That is the point. So we can't continue to be giving these people plea bargain. And then we catch Yahoo boy who stole just $500,000. We will sentence him to jail, still collect all the thing he owns, both his car and everything. And is this go to prison? So why will all these top government officials be going through plea bargain? And at the end of the day, none of them goes to prison. The accountant general now, the former accountant general that sold the 109 billion is not in prison. That is the point. And that's why other people are emboldened to continue to loot the country dry. Do you know what 212.8 billion would have done in the Nigeria economy in terms of infrastructure? Look at people traveling for Christmas. They are stranded on the road because most of the roads are terrible. They are bad. Imagine that 212.8 billion is spent on those roads. Citizens would have traveled freely and safely to their destination with ease, and they will be happy. If you now ask them to pay tax, they will be happy to pay because they can see that the money government is earning is making impact in their lives. Imagine if you have invested 212.8 billion in power sector, in the medical sector, hospitals, or in education. Imagine the turnaround that would have emerged from this investment. But one man took it. How was he able to steal this much? And he was not detected. For 8 good years, he was in power. Then something is wrong. Then in the civil service, it means the system is so porous that a minister can move this whole money through the GIFMIS and all this, and it was not detected. Then something is wrong. So now is the time for the federal government to wake up, automate every government finances to be done electronically with trail, so that nobody can move any fund without a trail. That is part of GIFMIS that does these things. So I don't know how. How was the minister able to pull all this money? From which sources did he pull all this money? He was moving to buy factories, to buy duplexes, to buy vehicles, to build factories, to build schools, to build hotels. I don't know. What is wrong with our financial system? Is there no threshold that banks need to report to the bank, to NFIU, to file their STR? Is there no threshold? How was he able to be paying for properties 400 and something million, and the money leaves a bank to the beneficiary that is selling the property? How? And no flag. What is the source of income of these people? If they are using the company, who are the BOs, the beneficial owners? What does the BOs do? What is the source of income of the beneficial owners? These are the things you do. You must be able to trace the source of wealth of these people. That's what they do in developed countries. You can't open such an account without providing your source of wealth with proofs to collaborate those source of wealth. That's what they do. If you cannot collaborate your source of wealth, they cannot onboard you in a bank that moves this kind of money. They create shell companies and be using these shell companies to be moving money. By the time you go to dig down all those companies they are using, is it Metac, whatever, Nigeria Limited, by the time you check, you won't see any office, you won't see where they are. They create shell companies, they create shelf companies, shell and shelf, through which they use to move this money. So why is our financial system so porous that one man can see 212 billion and be moving it from different bank accounts to buy houses and buy different properties? Is there no vetting system? No background check? Nothing? This is ridiculous. So when you look at part of the charges, they say they engage in multiple transactions. That's a red flag. As a transaction analyst, that's a red flag. So the bank's supposed to file SCR. So if these banks fail to file SCR within this period that all this thing happened, EFCC, the MDs of the banks, the compliance officers, and all those officials in the bank, they have questions to answer. And that bank need to be fined. By the time they pay heavy fine, then they will wake up and start doing the right thing. Nobody knows if there are other properties in abroad. The 212 billion EFCC is even mentioning, or the 41 properties are just in Nigeria. They are domestic properties. And there's no way this man will not have properties abroad. There's no way he will not have funds abroad. And I wish EFCC could trace further to find out whatever he has in foreign countries, both properties and cash deposited in banks. And that is the number one problem of the country: corruption. Corruption. All the funds government is getting ends up in people's pocket. None is used for the development of the country. And that is why the country is looking so backward. During Buhari's tenure, the man who claimed he's fighting, is fighting corruption. Look at what happened in his tenure. This is Buhari's government. That's why this guy was able to steal this much. And I believe, based on the list of people the EFCC have shortlisted who will testify against him in court, including bank officials and the officials of the company that were used, I believe that they will drive down this case to a logical conclusion. But let them not, go into plea bargain. Otherwise, you will give them part of the money, and that the rest is history. He goes home and drink his tea and still continue to enjoy the loot. So I don't understand why we should go into that direction, especially for high-profile people. Put them in prison and throw away the key. That's when others who are in the position of power will begin to sit up to know that prison is next to them if they do what is wrong. That's why even in China, corruption is hanging, death, straight. So before you steal one kobo, you know that your life is what you are using to exchange for the money you are stealing. So now they have quickly in the National Assembly put death sentence on those that does kidnapping. Why can't they also hurriedly put death sentence on those that steal public funds? That's what we expect National Assembly to do. If you can kill a kidnapper for kidnapping somebody and asking for ransom, those people who are stealing government resources, what will be their penalty? Put death sentence for them as well. China did it, and it's working for them. That's how we know that you people are serious to change the face of this country. According to the report from the EFCC, they said that he has not been charged to court yet, but they have already prepared the charges. Everything is ready. They are not getting a date from the court yet. So as soon as they get a date from the court, they take him to court. But they have prepared all the things that is required to take him to court. So we are looking forward that in the next couple of days after the holiday, that EFCC will take him to court for prosecution. So, and I hope that they issue his case to a judge who has zero tolerance for corruption, so that this case will be dealt speedily, and then we get to a logical conclusion. Now they have brought in different dimension to it. That Malami is claiming, because he had issue with the EFCC chairman when he was there, this and that. That's why he's witch hunting him. All those things are a big fat lie. Are this money traced to you or not? That is the question. It doesn't matter what you have with him or not have with him. We are not interested in that. The point is that all these properties, hotels, schools, factories, are they traced to you or not? If yes, so leave the other matter. Don't divert Nigeria's attention to something that is unprofitable to them. So what we are interested in is, did you take the money and then face the law? That is what it is. So the EFCC chairman is doing his job, so it doesn't matter what any other thing you are saying. So as far as I know, I think the EFCC should continue to dig deeper on so many other people and to continue to track this case. Find his link to abroad. Find his link to tax havens. Find if there's any link between him or those companies he opened, or any known lawyer, that works in the tax haven jurisdiction like Panama, British Virgin Island, all those, Cayman Island and the rest of them. Find out, because that's where most of them go to hide these resources at the end of the day. So check out through him, conduct further search. There are many tools you can use to identify these people, and then you'll be able to find other things he has abroad and seize them as well. So I expect that the Federal High Court that will receive this case will expedite action on trying him in court to ensure that they nip and conclude this case. That is the point. So Nigerian banking system, I'm so much worried on what is going on. How one man will move all these funds within the banking system undetected. No SAR, no STR, then there's problem. Where is the compliance? Where is the compliance system in the country? That is my worry. So I don't know what happens. CBN need to sit up in their regulation of banks. CBN, I've been saying it. It's been long I heard that CBN sanctioned a bank and request them to pay fine. It's been long I hear that. That's why commercial banks are too vulnerable. These people dash into the bank, and banks, they are looking for deposit. Anywhere you bring the money, they don't care. Even if you took it from an idol, from a shrine, they will collect it from you. So they don't do due diligence. They don't do EDD on these high-risk PEPs. So these guys bastardize our banking system, and use them anyhow that they want, because they have stolen money. They have, taken from the system. So CBN, you need to upgrade your regulatory system. Ensure that banks, for you to onboard any PEP, politically exposed person, you need to conduct serious due diligence on them, perform EDD on them, do proper check on them, Malami, what was he doing before? What was his income before? Who was he before? What does he own before he became minister? He suddenly became minister, own factories, own schools, own hotels everywhere, bought duplexes everywhere, and have different companies linked to him. So you can see it's clear fraud. It's clear, looting of the treasury, because you can't suddenly become wealthy. B2B call it wealth without enterprise. So what was he doing? Just he became an attorney general and he became a billionaire overnight. Then something is wrong. So we need to block these loopholes, ensure that Nigerian people don't suffer in the hands of these greedy politicians. And as we are speaking, I saw many of them, all of them, talking that, oh, this is a witch hunt. It's not a witch hunt. Now he has joined ADC, the same ADC that is telling Nigerians they will rescue them. He's in that party. He left APC. Abubakar Malami was one of the founding partners of the APC at that time, the ruling government. He was with them. But after the 8 years of Buhari, he came from APC and joined ADC because he wanted to contest governor in Kebbi State, his home state. So he joined that party. And then his cup became full, because once you are not in APC, you are a target. But once you are in there, you are shaded. That is the issue. That's what people believe, because that's the reaction they are seeing. That's the body language they are seeing from the regulatory authorities, from the EFCC and the government themselves. Don't forget, Ifeanyi Okowa, was picked up by the same EFCC, and they said they alleged that the amount that was missing under his government was 1.5 trillion or thereabout. Till today now, we are no more hearing anything. Since they come from the PDP and joined the APC. Even the current Senate president, he has the EFCC case. I think it was 7-point-something billion at that time when he was governor. They come from PDP, joined APC. His case fine. Nobody is hearing about it. So there are many situations like that. And that is what is making Nigerians to believe that the moment you join the APC party, everything goes quiet. Even the River State governor, himself and his predecessor, the FCT minister, there was a case against them in EFCC when the governor was accountant general at that time of the state. So now, he has even left PDP to join APC. That case is gone. At least we know he have immunity now until he finishes his tenure. But what about the minister? He doesn't have immunity. So what's going on? Nobody knows. So there are a lot of them. And I don't want Nigerians to have that, mindset that once you join APC, you are free from whatever you have committed. That's why I'm encouraging the EFCC that whosoever, no matter which party you belong, no matter which state you come from, no matter which religion, please do your job. Arrest them one by one. Nigeria deserves the best. Now they are asking citizens to pay tax in 2026 with the new tax law. You see, everybody is worried because the one they are paying already and the oil money they are collecting, nobody is seeing the impact. Nobody sees what they do with it in the country. And that is the reason people are skeptical, that they don't trust the government, that if they even pay all these taxes to them, they will not use it for their interest. Somebody will steal all, just like we can see in the allegation now, the charges against Abubakar Malami, the former Attorney General of the Federation. And you can't blame the citizen because they can't see the impact on them. Hardship everywhere, roads are not there, electricity is not there, hospitals are dilapidated, education sector is comatose. Just mention it. So what is this tax money they are paying doing? What is this oil money government is getting doing? That is the question. So people just collect this money, reluted them, and that's it. And nobody is held account. That's why they are worried. So EFCC, kudos to the ones you are doing already. I'm glad you people are taking this bold step. And I pray that you guys will do more. Do more. There are many other people that serve in that administration. Hadi Sirika, the former aviation minister, you guys invited him the other time for, is it 8 billion, alleged, looting or something. But since then now, we have not had anything. He's not appearing in court. The former governor of Kano State, Umar Ganduje, there are even videos of him collecting dollars and all this. That one rained, nothing happened. We didn't hear anything. Today, he was former APC chairman. He left the position on head grants, as we are told. A few weeks after, he was appointed as chairman of one of the aviation agencies. Somebody that resigned on head grants. So you can see. So these are the issues. When you guys are not, dealing with everybody on the same radar, when you deal with people from this party up, you deal with people from this party this way, then people will begin to conceive a lot of, misconceptions and stuff like that. So use the same measurement, just like the legal profession that have their logo. All right, the judge eye is closed, the scale is the same level. That's what we expect to see. So dig further, continue to do what you do best. And like I said in one of my videos, my advice to the EFCC chairman, focus on doing the right thing. Even if they remove you, your conscience will be clear that you did your job creditably. And I know you are also a man of God. So I believe that you will make the right choices, right decisions, and do your job without fear or favor. That's what it is. So it doesn't matter what happens with your job. They fire you, you go. You are doing something before you were appointed. So that's what it is. As well-meaning Nigerians, we always be there. When the right things are done, we will uphold those people doing those right things. When you do wrong, we will scold you. That's why we are here, to hold you. That's the office of the citizen, and that's what we are doing. So nobody hate any government or hate any president. What we care about is for our country to work. Nigerians will continue to jackpot everywhere. So we want our country to work. And when our country works, those people who are outside, you will see them coming back. That is the truth. So what they have built out there, they will take it home. That's what it is. But with what is going on, people are too discouraged. That is it. Every day, if we are not in visa ban, we are in a country of particular concern. If we are not, America doesn't ban us, Dubai will ban us. If Dubai doesn't ban us, another country, UK, will do their own. Why? Why should we always be a target? Why can't we always be on the, on the good list? So with what is happening now, we just left the gray list with the Financial Action Task Force. With this kind of corruption going on now, unraveled through Abubakar Malami, they may put us back there because it's showing a weak AML system. That's it. It's showing a weak AML system. How people can move such money, one man, in a financial system undetected for 10 years. That is worrisome. So if you guys don't want to go back to the gray list of Financial Action, Task Force, then you have to do what is right. And that is the purview of the Central Bank of Nigeria, who does this regulation, NFIU, and the rest of them. You guys should be able to put heads together, strengthen our financial system in a way that it blocks every loopholes. All right? Conduct, all these people that move high volume of cash, do due diligence on them. Do enhanced due diligence on them. They are high risk clients, especially these PEP, these politically exposed persons. These people that occupy government positions. They are high risk clients. So you need to do the needful. There are criteria for them to be able to ensure that they are not using the financial system to launder money. You do, source of wealth analysis on them. What were they doing over the years till they get to the position where they are? What was their income then? What do they own at that time? And now that they are in this position, where are they? By the time you see the gap, you'll be able to know that something is wrong somewhere. And do continuous transaction monitoring in their finances, what they do in their bank accounts. Any company, this is the part where CAC comes in. Anybody that is opening a company, they must file their beneficial ownership. Their information must be provided, and they must be in the open. When anybody is conducting search, they'll be able to know who are the owners of these entities. Because what they do is to hide their identities by creating complex systems, layers on layers of companies. One company will own 4 other companies. Those 4 other companies will own other, so that by the time you are tracing, you get tired. No, we have strength to trace. We can unravel them. That's our job as financial analysts. So all these things, government need to wake up. If you people lack capacity, we are here. We are here to provide some capacity on how they do it abroad, so that you people can lock the system. Otherwise, you will see yourself back in the gray list of the Financial Action Task Force or many other countries where you want to open correspondent, banking relationship. You will find it difficult to do so because the bank overseas will not trust your bank due diligence, what they do on their clients that they are trying to do, correspondent banking activities for. So all these things, people don't understand what happens globally. So it's very important. One, as I conclude this video, the things I expect that EFCC should not do plea again on this case. Let them forfeit everything that they have traced to him, to the federal government. All right? Dig more to find out if we have any other link offshore across the globe. If he does, link up with that country NFIU, and do people will, confiscate whatever he has there and return it back home. 3, the court should make sure they follow this case speedily, not after 2 weeks, 1 month. Nobody will hear about it again. So that if he's going to jail, he should go to jail and serve his term with his accomplices that were mentioned. Again, I'm expecting that the CBN, with what is going on now, should wake up and review their, money laundering laws. Review it, strengthen it, do the DPC, detect, prevent, and control. Make sure that all banks have these methodologies. Let them strengthen their SOPs, standard operating procedure, within the bank to ensure that every customers, clients, and the bank officials are complying to the rules and regulations guiding the financial system. Very, very important. So, again, I'm expecting that they should check through the STR. If the bank failed to file STR since 10 years, this man has been laundering, moving all this money, that bank must be fined. The employees who are helping them, because the normal thing they do in Nigerian banking system, once they come to move 500 million, They may dash the cashiers, the people who are helping them process the money. They may dash them 5 million to share. And they will hardly do everything, even without checking IDs and all this, and they release the money. So all those accomplices within the bank who are helping them to launder this money should also be under the EFCC prosecution. That is how it works. So that when they set an example with these people, next time they comes, other employees will not agree to play card with them to help them. That's how you stop things. But if they don't, then I'm sorry. So fine these banks heavily. By the time they pay fine, other banks will wake up. So that is my take on this thing. So it's quite shameful and so pathetic that Nigeria, who is borrowing and borrowing and borrowing money from different World Bank, IMF, float bonds, they have money, but few individuals have stolen all. So they borrow more, tie the Nigerian citizen to debt. They'll be paying debt till they die. How does it make sense? And now, as you can see, election will soon start coming. So they will continue to loot more to prepare for election. Those that want re-election in the National Assembly, in the State House of Assembly, governors, ministers that want to retain their seat in the next, in the second tenure, they will also loot to support the president. So these are the things that goes on in government. I've said this severally. Check procurement processes. That's one channel. All those companies that award contract to, most of them are shell company. They have nothing, no office, no nothing. They just collect money, use it to collect the money, and they return it back to the government, to the person, and then they give them their share. They go. No project is done, no activity is performed, but the money is gone. But they have documentation, proper documentation that will prove that they did those things. But those things were not done. They even have people who help them to forge whatever document they want. It looks real, but it's not real. So there's quite a whole lot to do. That's how money disappears in civil service. So EFCC, a lot of work is there for you. It is what it is. So guys, I'm gonna let it stay here for now as we wait and see what happens next when they are charging him to court, and then we know how to take it off from there. So I don't know what you think. If you think that this case requires expedited action, if you think that they don't need to do plea bargain, they need to process the case to the end and send them to prison, please let us know what you think at the comment section. I'll continue to debate on this. But don't forget that when there's corruption in any country, that country will never make progress. The citizen will continue to suffer because the funds required to develop the country and improve the lives of the people are being stolen by just few individuals. That's what it is. So guys, I'm expecting to hear from you in the comment section. But if you are new to my channel, please kindly like and share this video, and also subscribe to my channel and put on the notification bell so that when my next new video drop, you'll be among those that will be notified. So I'm gonna say to you again, Merry Christmas, and I wish you a lovely celebration. So see you in my next video. I'm signing out. Have a wonderful day.